Kayla Keller, and this speech is for online speech to the Labette Community College. Did you know that the United States alone produced 29.96 billion pounds of beef in 2023, according to Statista.com? With that being said, I'm sure living in the Midwest, you have seen pastures upon pastures of cattle. But have you thought to yourself, I want to raise my own beef? Well, if so, then this speech is for you. Today I'm going to be sharing information on raising beef takes, the positives and the negatives. I know you might be thinking to yourself, how does this teenage girl know anything about what it takes to raise beef? Well, I have been raising my own beef for the last 3 years. Now, a little background. A steer is a male that has been castrated that is used for meat purposes. A bull is a non-castrated male used for reproductive purposes. A feeder calf is a calf that is used and raised for beef. A heifer is a female calf used to have babies but hasn't had one yet. A cow is a heifer that has had babies. The carcass yield is something that you get when you take your beef cattle to the butcher. A butcher will give, so if you have a 1,000-pound calf, you will roughly get about 700 pounds of meat from that 1,000-pound calf, and that is what the carcass yield will be. Now that you have a little bit of background, let's talk about what it takes. You want to consider a few things. First, your financial situation. Brand new people who have that haven't ever raised cattle will have more than someone who isn't. Although many factors take into consideration for this, on average, it will cost you anywhere from $600 to $1,000. This includes the purchase price, the feed, and other necessities. Next, you're going to want to consider what breed you want. There are over 250 breeds worldwide. Most often, most of these won't fit what you need or are looking for in your beef. Some of the things that might not fit is the weather, the region, the price. Two of the most common breeds are Angus and Hereford. Angus are resistant to harsh weather, fairly undemanding, adaptable, good-natured, mature extremely easily, and have a high carcass yield, along with nicely marbled meat. A Hereford do as well on wide ranges of pastoral conditions and roughage. They have good fertility, good foraging abilities, and are very docile. The next step would be purchasing. There's a few ways to do this. First is asking your local agricultural extension agent for recommendations on a local farmer. You may pay a little more doing this way, but it saves you a headache. Online websites or on Facebook are also another way to go. They're not as reputable or reliable. Often these heifers or cattle, whatever you end up buying, will not be full bred, or they might be a bottle calf, so they won't grow as fast. The last is an auction or a sale. These can cost more money. They have a lot of moving parts and can be confusing for a beginner. That is why it's recommended to stick to a local farmer who know and has a reputation around your community. Next, what does it take? Well, land and fencing. According to landcan.org, you only need about 1.8 acres per head. A head is what we count as one cow. It also depends on foraging and quality of your land, whether you need more or less of it. Other things that you might need are feeders, water troughs, hay, feed, and other tools necessary for these things. Other than physical supplies, you're going to have to think about mental and physical needs. This is not for the faint of heart. There's a lot of gross elements to it, such as banding if you end up with a bull calf, giving shots, different things like that. It also takes a lot of hard work. You might have to keep up your fence, build fence, feeding, and things like that take a lot of time and physical strength. Dedication is another thing that you're going to have to think about. This is another living animal that you have to take care of. It relies on you to eat, drink, things like that. You may not want to always get up and take care of it, whether it's raining, snowing, really cold, whatever the weather may be, you still have to do it. So some of the positives of raising your own beef are it saves you money in the long run. I did some math and it would cost you $3,150 for only ground beef at the store. This was from a 1,000-pound calf. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, 100% ground beef costs about $5 per pound. According to the same website, other cuts of meat are more expensive, like roast at $6, sirloin steaks at $11. This is all per pound. And when you get and butcher your own beef, you end up getting a variety of different cuts, therefore more money compared to just solid ground beef. It only takes roughly about $1,000 to raise one steer. So yes, you're paying pricing for butchering and processing, but you're not having to do the upcharge from the stores. Also, a positive is you know what goes into your meat. According to the MD Anderson Cancer Center, you can be exposed to nitrate, cured or salted with different processed beefs. Negatives to raising your own beef is not having the correct equipment. Truck, tractors, trailers, and other big equipment make it easier to feed, transport, things like that. But for a beginner, this may not be feasible. It can cost more leading up to this if you are a beginner. Having a sufficient water supply also can be a negative. On average, they drink 9 to 12 gallons of water a day. No water source or a way to get water from your source to the trough can be difficult as well. Those are some of the positives and negatives of raising your own beef, as well as some of the issues that can come along. I hope you take this into consideration when raising your own beef, and good luck!